Shalom. You know
Yeah.
Now okay, here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, so one more few. First and foremost, we're going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akakadash, the Barnes to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well, and salutation, much love, you all come out there preaching out his word in truth and sincerity. Brothers from Great Millstone Tampa, brother Osh,
Makala.
and we're just going to do a quick video, on the chaos that's coming to America. All right, so if you want to grab that edition, among men, you put it up on the screen as well.
This is second Ezra chapter 15, 14, and them that dwell therein. Verse 15.
You break it down as we go through.
I read again. Second Ezra 15, verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Because going into that trial that's coming upon earth, Daniel 12 chapter says the time like no other. And going to the things that are going to happen prior to the Lord's return, very harsh and very the wicked, salvation of the elect. What Yahweh Shai said, "I've come out to bring peace for the sword." And read the next verse, 2 15, verse 15, it says, "For the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." So going to so-called America, there's more guns than people in this country. So going to that in itself is a ticking time bomb, because when I look to the next verse, people start taking matters into their own hands. In verse 16, it says, "Kings nor princes in the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Because like Yahushua said in Matthew 24th chapter, because iniquity shall abound, and love of many shall wax cold. So around the four corners of the earth, the squeeze that the devil's pushing on people, the shortages and, these all things are man-made. These pestilence, now you got these mandates coming again, full circle. You got over there in China, mainland.
Yeah, it's Shanghai.
Yeah.
I think it's Shanghai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full-on martial law. I would like concentration camps, quarantine. They quarantine whole apartments. They all lived stacked on top of each other. So they all that shit. They can't even leave. Niggas. They got videos of people jumping out of the buildings, just killing themselves.
Yeah.
So hey, that's coming here to America, man. Because what? For the same reasons. All right, that is happening over there. Because you're gonna see, like the brother said, all these planned, these scams. All right, they're gonna come back. All right, which is all it's an agenda of Esau, Edom, which is the dragon, the beast. All right, so he's gonna come down with another one. One of his names is Satan or the devil, right? So he's gonna come down. Scripture say Revelation 12. He's gonna come down with great wrath. All right, and that's why chaos is gonna explode in America. Like they show these movies, The Purge and all that. Well, that's coming here to America. All right, and it's gonna get worse and worse as the days get closer to the Lord's return. Go ahead, though.
Yep. Now I got the etymology of the word sedition here. I just want to get.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is the sedition. It says rebellion, uprising, revolt, concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority, violent strife between factions, civil or religious disorder, riot, rebelliousness against authority. And that goes into the book of Isaiah, was the 19th chapter. Our Lord set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. So you got all this stuff going around the world. You got the mindset over there. It's totally different for you so-called Americans, because you still have your luxury, so to say. But that's going to be stripped from you overnight. So that's what because you are entitled Americans. What are you going to do? You're going to start getting at each other's necks. Start blaming the mayor, start blaming governors, start blaming your neighbors. Who'd you vote for? You voted for Biden. They're going to start fighting. And it says, and even in your own household, it's going to be folks.
Are you juiced in or what?
Exactly.
Because soon, that's the whole thing that's going down in Shanghai. It reemerged. The snake juice or the snake. Yeah, that's what it is. The snake juice reemerged. So now people are being quarantined and this and that. So people are gonna start looking. Well, remember when if you didn't have a mask, people looked at you sideways. So imagine when it's really restricting people even further, restricting people's freedoms. It's gonna lead to sedition. And then some people, I'm gonna say most, but there's gonna be a lot of people that take the side of Trump. They don't want these blockades or what was it, restrictions, so to say, because they're just, oh, we got rights, we got liberties. No, you don't. You're just a meat puppet, a slave. All right, goyim, as they call you. The elites call you goyim, or you're just chattel. Okay, go ahead, though.
Yep. Read the next verse. Going to how you have no rights because martial law is going to be declared. So that's all your rights are, just a piece of paper. Not just like a piece of paper. You can grab it up and scrunch it together and throw it in the garbage because he's creating a new world. That's why it's called a new world order. So 2 Corinthians 15 verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city.
And we've seen that already. You couldn't leave, quarantines. And look, people in Shanghai, they desire to go to another city, but they can't even leave their room, their apartment. They stuck. That's why niggas are jumping out the windows, man. So it's not even, it's coming, it's happening. It just hasn't made it here to America. Babylon the Great. The final showdown will be here, so to say. All right. But it's gonna be the best. All right, like they say, saving the best for last. All right, and that's why they keep. Well, we'll get into it. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians 15 verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right, so I got rights, I got this, all that don't matter. They're gonna cut off the cities.
You're gonna have the right to shut the hell up and get a baton,
exactly,
beat over your head, or not a baton, or M16 shit. Because the Apostle Ramla just went into the a leopard shopping, how to go city. Yeah, watch over the city. So these militarized police departments and these militaries are going to be coming and dealing with the food rationing, because that's coming. Because all of a sudden, random food factories around the U.S. are just catching on fire. Or just airplanes crashing into them, just random shit.
And there was an article saying, "Oh, beware of cyber attacks attacking the food industry, structure." So it's all planned, That's why we call it pandemics. But next verse, 2 Corinthians 15, verse 18, it says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid."
Yeah, because of their pride. And America's the proudest people on the planet, man. Because this the virgin daughter of Babylon. They ain't been touched yet. So their pride has reached unto the heavens because they think nobody can touch them. But here it is that their allies are starting to look at them sideways. All right, these other superpowers are flexing, and the American ain't doing nothing. Well, let's look at how they handled the Afghanistan situation. they were made the laughing stock of the world after that. And who is it? Your boy Sleepy Joe. All right, he's the face of it. But things are gonna get so bad here, and he's gonna just keep blaming Russia. He's gonna keep blaming Putin while you at the gas pump looking at it, put in $58 and you ain't even get 1 gallon. It's good. Hey, you never know. It might get that bad. $58 a gallon or some shit. Well, we know damn sure it's gonna keep rising because it went down a little bit, but now the brother just sent an article. Who was it? Poland? Was it Poland? Let me check real quick. It was Poland. Yeah, Poland confirms gas supply to be halted. All right, so that's another excuse to raise the gas prices. All right, then they're gonna blame it on this and blame it on that. But people are starting to wake up to the bullshit, and people are gonna take to the streets, man. Just like they did during the elections, just like they did for what's this nigga's name? Freddie, nigga, the nigga that was called down for his mama.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Not Freddie Gray. The last nigga to get choked out by the police. Then people started marching, burning down shit. Nationwide. George Floyd. There you go. Yeah. Just like people rioted after his death. All right, for a grimy nigga. Well, people are gonna take to the streets when their livelihood is at risk. They can't get to work, meaning they can't get paid. You ain't got no money to put in a gas tank. How you gonna go to work? And then very soon, this microchip is going to be implemented. That's going to cause even more of an uproar because some people ain't going to be with it. A lot of people ain't gonna be with it at first, and then they gonna once them bellies start hurting, they're gonna have to go get it because they don't have faith. But before then, people gonna be looting the little bit that there is gonna be in the stores to eat, so it's gonna be bad. Do you read that already?
What?
Where you at?
Second, okay.
18.
Pride.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, keep going.
I'll read again. 2 15, verse 18, it says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Yeah. So, like it says in Proverbs 16, it says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and haughty spirit before a fall." So going to again the mindset of the so-called Americans. You have that you got that woman spirit, that word. She said, "I should never know the loss of children, nor know any sorrow." Living carelessly, living carefree. You watch stuff on the TV and think it don't affect you until it hits you and slaps you in the face. Your everyday items are going up through the roof, and who do you have to blame? You have to blame the people that are in power. So again, it's all leading to people going to be troubled because ultimately pride, which is going to them being removed from the will of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm. And it says house is being right.
Yep.
So what? It's slow because sometimes be breaking up. All right. So sometimes people be flexing on the gram. Oh yeah, doomsday this and doomsday that, and stocking up and showing everybody. Well, guess what? People gonna know exactly where to go for food when they can't go into the store and get anything. So they're gonna be invading one another. Your neighbor, all right, your family, like brother mentioned earlier. All right, them or your own household shall be like foes, man. So a neighbor fighting against neighbor. Okay, go ahead.
No, 2 15, verse 19 says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor."
There you go. No, your neighbor ain't gonna have pity on you. Oh yeah, y'all was barbecuing every weekend, right? And now look, he got a fucking revolver pointed at your face, telling you, give me the bread, give me everything you got in there, and they ain't gonna kill you anyway. Go ahead.
2 15, verse 19, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword."
Yep, with the sword, guns, with that revolver, he's gonna come through with the revolver, and there you go. Look,
Oh, yeah.
it's bad.
There you go. Yep. It says, finishing 2 15, verse 19, it says, "And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." And that, there you go. These pictures right here, man. Great tribulation. Tribulation like never before seen. And before those nukes get blown off, so-called America, and before comes earth when this next world war comes, you people that got the chip, you already, getting duped with the juice. So just talk about, you don't receive that grievous soil, you take that chip. So again, it's only going to get worse. So wanting to again them spoiling the goods, lack of bread, great tribulation. That's why I should say a friend cannot be known in prosperity. Americans been in prosperity, for hundreds of years, and it's all because of the destruction of these so-called Native Latinos, Native Americans. So now the Lord's requiring, what the devil did onto his people, and that's why you see this world is crumbling. And that's why again going to that adversity, everybody's going to be enemy, and that they, the only true unity is going to be those that are of the faith.
And real quick, just to point to something down in this picture, don't believe everything you see, man. Look at these niggas pointing. Where they pointing at? What are these two guys pointing at? And then with the three stooges back here. What's going on here? But anyway, I got a quick precept for you. Keep going. This is the 2 Ezra 6 and 24. It says, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies." So yeah, you think you got friends now, but like the brother said, the true friends are the ones in Yahweh Shai, man, in the body of Yahweh. It says, "And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein." Yeah, because people are going to be in fear, man, from all the chaos, especially here in America, because they're not used to it. They people around the world, they witness war, all right, famines. You got drive-throughs, deliveries, and police that drive around in cars. But in some countries, people would just run amok and do what they want. Invade villages, burn the village down, and keep it moving. So it says, "The springs of the power shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." Going into the word, but also when they cut this power off, man. The EMP attacks. You said they're planning one, right? Or cyber attack,
attacks,
whatever. Cyber attack. they can cyberly hack into the grid and shut it down. Your water supply, your electricity, fuck up all the logistics, so nothing gets shipped anymore. So it's gonna come down, and it's gonna people are gonna lose their shit. Like the apostles always say, when people got nothing to lose, they lose it all, and they're gonna be willing to fight. You read that, the lack of bread, right?
Yep.
Read it again.
Okay. So 2 Corinthians 15 in verse 19, it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation."
Great tribulation and the lack of bread. But people, they ain't got nothing to eat, man. They'll do some unspeakable things. Yeah. Or you guys?
No, that was we keep reading on time. That was the point.
Yeah.
This is 2 Corinthians 16. We go over to the next chapter. And I'll start at 17. It says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? And that's the mindset of someone that knows what's coming. That's the prophets. So woe is me is just crying out because he sees what's going to happen in these last days. And that's why we run to the Lord, which is that strong tower. Here in 2 Corinthians 16, verse 18, it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So the beginning, but you're already in that stage. It's just progressing, like a video game. The Saudi elites, they call it the Hunger Games, that movie. So they just see it as a game, because they really want to bring this chaos to bring in the order, the new world order. People gonna be begging for the new world order. That's why you're gonna be lined up for the chip, just like you line up for that juice.
The solution, the chaos out of order. Or order out of chaos, and chaos is coming. So they're gonna bring in the new world order. Yeah, more?
Yep, I'll read a couple more. 2 Corinthians 16, verse, that's when we grab some.
No, you good.
2 Corinthians 16, verse 19, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But it's a heavy point. Verse 20, it says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. That's first talk about our people. And you should be getting a clue that the Lord's coming back. And that they do know. It says in Joel, it says the Lord's gonna put his spirit upon all flesh. So they know in the back of their mind that something's not right, but they've been deceived by the devil. They listen to what he got to say. They want to hear those smooth words, things that are convenient for them to deal with. Because dealing with the truth, you got to change. But Jake don't want to do that. They rather be evil. So all the evil that's coming on the earth, nothing's gonna. That's why then at the end of the day, our people just gotta go. That's why people just gotta go. And we'll see them on the other side, But here, verse 21 says, behold, the victual shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So it's getting worse,
More and more confusion, man. People don't know what's going on. And there's lies. There's a supposed war going on.
Exactly.
All right, all kinds of shit's going on around the world. Shit here in America's going down, and people are just living life just like nothing's happening. And then they're confused about what to believe, who to believe, what to do. So it's only gonna get worse for them, because they're not spiritually preparing ultimately. Go ahead, you got more on that?
You can stop doing that.
Okay, I got some real quick to go back to the which is what's going to cause all this confusion. Going back to for the lack of bread, right? This is back in 2 Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, right? So all these grocery stores, the factories or whatever that are holding or that ship those foods and other products, so shit's happening to them, and they still haven't addressed the whole trucking situation. Truckers, that's still the problem. But what people don't realize it because they still got McDonald's, Domino's pizza delivered to your door. But here it is, articles coming out saying global food crisis. The world is on the brink of a food shortage. So these food shortages, all right, Here's why food shortages are unlikely to occur in the U.S. See, this is delusional. That's confusion. Which is it? Is it a global food crisis? Come on? So which one is it? Global food crisis possible? No precedent even close to this since World War II. See, this is why you got to stay away from mainstream media, CNBC. They're full of shit. But look, farm policy news. All right, the farmers are saying this is the worst since World War II. And what happened during those times? Food rationing. You know, and even your president. I remember this was a month ago. Biden warns of a real food shortage following sanctions on Russia. But he's gonna blame everything on Putin. So and then when you ain't got nothing at the grocery store, and then they're gonna change the money system up, and we're gonna need a mark, all right, digital money to pay. It's gonna lead to chaos, man. Grocery stores being burned to the ground, all kind of mass murder, all right. Just the deplorable acts being done, all right, around the world. That was it. That was our, that. Do you have anything else, or now we can close it out?
Yeah, I'll get to Luke 17.
Got it.
It's Luke 17, and start at 26. It says, when Yahushua is speaking, he says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it also be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, verse 27, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. So the same thing that happened back then, as we say, there's no new thing under the sun.
Party and bullshitting
until it's too late.
Yep. And then it's gonna smack you in the face when you starving to death. Oh, let me get that. You can read that again if you want to.
All right.
Speak on it.
Okay. Well, I'll just move on. Next verse goes into it a lot. So Luke 17, verse 28 says, likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built it. That's happening right now. You people still able to buy, people still able to sell, you still able to buy and sell up until the missiles come. Because when the chip comes, you people are going to be having those green zones, whatever, but it's all going to be short-lived, because again, this place is going to be out in 1 hour, as people say, But verse 29 says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus it shall be in the day when the Son of Man is. So the destruction came when the Lord delivered his elect. Like they say, when a raindrop, which it's already is drizzling, but it's gonna start pouring, and that flood is gonna be Esau coming down with that great wrath. The Lord left understanding for his elect. He said, my servants shall eat, my servants gonna drink. They're gonna be joyous, but you people are gonna be stuck here in your torments because you chose, not to wage your Lord, At this time, the Lord's making those comparisons because back then, that's huge judgment. That's the Lord's melody he plays out on the earth, So going to destruction of so-called America, the group nations, think you up in the pestilence and ultimately just destruction,
This is I got two of them. This is our second Ezra 16 and 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger. I'm going to show you that famine leads to hunger and people dying from it. Say, shall the sword destroy? All right, so hey, a lot of you people only got two ways out. You're either gonna die of famine or you're gonna die by the sword. All right, so Lamentations 4:9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. So you better off dying by the sword. You get riddled with bullets, the Gatling gun just mow you down into fucking ground beef. It'd be better than dying of hunger. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. So you're not gonna have no food to eat. People are gonna be killing each other for food to eat. So a lot of you Americans are pathetic. You're not willing to kill somebody to eat. You're scared of confrontation. What you gonna do when somebody ready to kill you for whatever you got? And so you're gonna have to pine away. Die slowly, painful. Your intestines start eating themselves. You start hallucinating. You see, that's when them apparitions are gonna come in. So it's all around. It's not looking too good for a global, right? So it's global food crisis. So it's not looking too good for you everyday Americans that refuse to. Well, you Israelites, okay? The hell with the heathens. Good for them. But you Israelites need to repent because the return of the Lord is nigh at hand. All right. So you got anything else? So with that, Lord's willing, this is edifying. We're gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, the bonus to the elder apostles, great millstone who were well. Salutation and much love to you. I came out there pushing out his word through sincerity and as well as you sincere believers out there. All right. With that, shalom.